Good to see all of you. I'm so pleased to have this chance to talk with you. I am Peter Boal, Artistic Director of Pacific Northwest Ballet, and I'm here today speaking with Price Suddarth, Ezra Thomson, and James Moore. And what we all have in common is that we are dancing dads. Granted, I'm not dancing anymore, but these three certainly are. What a life, huh? Being a father, being a parent, and dancing. And I know we did an interview with a lot of our company moms as well, and I believe some of our kids made guest appearances there. But I'd love to hear your take on what this profession is like when you have children. First one, I guess, might be smart for us to introduce the kids that you have and maybe also your partner's name, just because I imagine those partners are going to be referred to quite a bit throughout this conversation. James Yoichi Moore, I'm going to have you go first.
Sure, yeah, my wife Kristen and I, we have Julian, who's almost 3, he's 2.5 right now, and just had our baby daughter Layla, who is 3 weeks and 2 days.
Congratulations, exciting. Ezra, you want to go next?
Yeah, my wife is Sarah, recently retired from the company, and we have a little 2.5-year-old girl, which is Etta, or Etta Joan. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And Price.
My wife, Emma Suddarth, who retired last September, so almost a year ago. We have Milo, who is 3 months younger than Etta. So yeah, they're all about 2, yeah.
And I'll add in that I have 3, but they're 21, 24, and 26, which is a whole generation away from your kids. But the memories are vivid from the dancing years. All 3 of mine were while I was dancing with the company, up to the ages of, I think, 9 was my oldest when I retired. So James, this is such a recent addition to your family. How's the family life going with 4 at home as opposed to 3? Well, I should include your dog. That makes it 5.
Yeah, I think we're all doggy dads, if I'm correct, right? So we have a little bit of previous experience. It's great. It's yeah, loving it. We're on cloud 9. It's a lot to juggle for sure, especially with a toddler, having a newborn. But you know, also having the experience of already having one, it's a lot. Well, I wouldn't say easier, but it's just with the knowledge of having one already, it's a bit smoother maybe of a process. But yeah, we're loving it.
So all parents know that have 2 that the parenting is essential for the child who is the older child. And that can happen again and again. But how's Julian coping with having a little sister?
Julian is wonderful. Yeah, he's just been great. He always wants to hold Layla, and he's so gentle with her. It's awesome. You know, we make sure that he gets all the attention that he needs. Also, I think that's key. But yeah, he was so excited to be a big brother, and now that he is, yeah, he's super happy.
Yeah, it sounds like it went better in your family than it did in mine. There was a little devastation that the only child thing was over. I don't think we explained it so clearly to our 2-year-old. Listen, another thing we all have in common, we all married dancers. So it's a double dancer home. A lot of people will know Sarah, Ezra's wife, and also Emma. And less so Kristen, because she didn't dance for PNB, but she was a dancer. So dance is a part of your home environments. Are your kids dancing? Do they love it? Do they live it? Do they watch it? Ezra, tell us what I think I've seen a little of Joan dancing.
Etta is all about dance. She dances every night. We have dance parties. She likes to watch dance. She likes to come to the studio. She likes to run around the dance. She knows everyone's name in the company, which is crazy to me. I didn't teach her that, but somehow she knows everybody from being passed around. And yeah, I think it'll be hard to keep her from dancing. So
she knows every name in the company, and she's how old?
2.5.
Okay, this is going to sound terrible, but we have some PNB employees that don't know everyone's name in the company.
I think it's because Sarah and I are always talking about what's happening throughout the day, and then she like puts a face to the name. I'm like, oh, did you know this person did that, and this person did this, and then she's like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, and Ezra, she's here quite a bit, isn't she?
Yeah, recently her daycare had been pretty close to here. So anytime that, especially when Sarah was still dancing, we would just try to make the end of the day work out so that we could pick her up from daycare and she'd be here, or we'd be passing her between rehearsals or something. But she actually is starting a Montessori school next week, so she'll be not around the ballet anymore. She'll be at school.
We're gonna miss her.
Yeah.
Price, tell us about, do you dance at home? Are there dance parties?
Every single night. It's actually funny. He knows Ezra. Milo calls Ezra Edda's daddy. And one of the first times he ever saw him dance was a rehearsal of Nutcracker, and he was doing the Man in Tea, and he comes out of the box. So pretty much for the whole month of December, January, and February, every time we saw a good sized box, he would say Edda's daddy was inside. He would always look for Edda's daddy. But Milo, one of his favorite things to dance is in Swan Lake, there's the pas de trois, and there's a variation that Emma danced. And that was one of the first videos that he ever saw. And so we have to sing, and he does the whole thing. He does it all in our living room over and over and over again. He's actually pretty good. So
Okay, I'm taking note now.
yeah.
So that's a question I had a little later in the run, but I don't know if there'll be dancers. You don't know if there'll be dancers, but are you planning the Nutcracker audition, and do you know which year your child will audition?
Absolutely not.
Okay, it's not written on the calendar at home. So.
I'm open to it. If he wants to dance, yeah, we'll bring him in.
Yeah.
Julian's dancing style is basically to spin to the left. He doesn't want to spin to the right, and he doesn't really have much rhythm otherwise, but he's got the turns to the left. So my mind is on him being a lefty.
Well, that is an essential small piece of being a dancer. Hopefully, if he wants to, he'll add a few more. So listen, being a dancer is a hard schedule already. I mean, you all knew the challenges of the profession before having children. Part of what's challenging is the schedule, because a lot of times the performances will keep you there till after 10 o'clock at night. There's an early morning class, there's a full day of rehearsal. You're kind of exhausted, I imagine, physically by end of day. What was the schedule change like when you were suddenly a parent? I mean, you couldn't count on your 8 hours of sleep, I assume, that you used to have. James, talk to us about that change.
Oh yeah, I struggle with that lack of sleep for sure.
Now.
That one hit me hard. Yeah, that's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Even more so with another. I think the biggest change for me was I had to learn how to manage my time. That's been a long time coming, so it's bound to happen sooner or later. But I really had to focus on organizing my day, making sure that I had enough time to get everything done. Because you want to spend as much time with your kids as you can. And really, I would spend all of my day with Julian if I could, and Layla. But we have other things to do in life. So I'm still trying to juggle all of the commitments, and throughout life. So it's tough. But I think I'm getting better at it, and it's just a challenge, another challenge.
Ezra, you talked about daycare that was close by, and I know initially we often look at times with parents of, can our rehearsals not be at the same time, or can we be cast at different shows? Did you and Sarah do some of that juggling to try to do parenting as well?
Yeah. It was just we lucked out because of the pandemic. The first first year basically, we were mostly at home, so that was a special thing to have with a newborn. But as we were both in the studios, especially for the end of Sarah's last performances, it was just a big struggle. We just tried to talk with the rehearsal directors and just hope that it would work out in this, and someone could go in for a little bit and go out. It's a lot more, much easier now, having Sarah not dance and going into a new profession. But the schedule's hard. I mean, and I live far away as well, and I take her in the morning and we leave and we come back. She's already home, and I come back 13 hours later and I see her for an hour or so, and then turn around and do it all over again. So it's a long day, but any time with her is special. So we just try to maximize it.
Are you FaceTiming during the day, or just?
No, I usually right after work I get to call, and she's actually like really good at talking on the phone now. So I call Sarah to say, I'm heading home. Do you need anything? And the phone is immediately snatched out of Sarah's hand, and Edda's running around the house saying like, how long is it going to take you to come home? Are you bringing me a treat? I'm like, well, did you already have a treat? Probably. I'll bring you one anyways. So, yeah.
Isn't that nice that the love is just right there and so evident and so hungry for you to return? So, yeah, I love hearing that. Price, Ezra mentioned the pandemic, and it was maybe not the worst time to welcome a child into the world. Talk about what that bonding was like, and also sort of the oddity of that whole situation.
Yeah.
We're coming in then, were we?
Yeah, it was crazy. So Milo was born 2 months after lockdowns set in. So, we kind of, those last 2 months were any pregnant woman or a woman who's had a child will tell you that's probably the most uncomfortable, worst time. But it was really great because we got to sit and be and go for long walks and kind of savor that moment. And then he was born, and we didn't go back to work until after his first birthday. So we had a full year of just being there. And there's a lot of other stuff. We were doing a lot of work. PNB was doing a limited season. And so there was quite a bit here and there. But for the most part, we were there, present for an entire year. And we didn't have to worry about the sleep. That was a big thing. It was hard. But I kept saying, I have so much respect for people who can do this when both parents, or even one parent, has to go back to work a few weeks after, a baby's born. Because there were definitely nights where I don't think either of us slept at all. But it was okay because we were at home. And it feels weird to say that the pandemic benefited us, but it really did. It fell at a kind of perfect time. So yeah, it allowed us to kind of have this rhythm, the three of us, before we went back to work, which made it quite a bit smoother of a transition to get back in there.
I have a question for all three of you, and I'm really asking it so that you'll answer honestly. I think we would actually learn if you gave us your honesty, and we're open to a compliment as well. But how is PNB for employees, but particularly dancers who have kids? Do you feel a level of accommodation, or is it really an environment that is not right for a child and it doesn't feel comfortable to bring a child into? And again, honesty is welcome. It's a serious question.
I had nothing but a good experience, actually. I think on the business side of it, of running a company, it's just, it's been very nice. We had a nice experience having her, and we love bringing her around. But I mean, ever since I've been here and now growing on, almost 15 years I've been here, it's my second family. So all her aunts and uncles are here. Her dancers, everyone is here. The people upstairs love her. She's in the costume shop. She goes all over the place. She eats lunch. She knows every dog that comes in, all the people. I'm sure she'll learn the stagehands' names next. So that part is actually plays a big role in even deciding my own future. I would like to, try to maintain myself around some sort of arts, because I just think it's so special for her and a good place to be. So yeah, I would say it was great.
Yeah, this is an experience I'd love to give to Julian. Chris and I have been pretty conservative about where we take him. So he hasn't been into PNB much, especially recently. He's gotten his second COVID shot now, though, so I think we're starting to open up a little bit. And yeah, seeing Edda around and Milo also, it is like a second family. So, and it's a very large second family. And so yeah, I can't wait for him to come in, meet everyone, and see me dance also, because he hasn't really seen that live. So something I'm looking forward to.
Price, I'm going to reroute the question for you, but it was so nice seeing Milo run out on stage for Emma's retirement, and we saw that for Sarah's retirement too, with Edda Joan. But is that a comfortable environment for Milo to be in?
Oh yeah, he always talks about the big red stage that he danced on.
Okay.
That mommy bowed, but he danced on it. But yeah, I mean, it's a really special thing. I don't think we realize when you start dancing as a child, you have your parents and your friends in this really close, tight-knit group, and then as you grow, that kind of expands and expands, and then finally it kind of shrinks back down again, and you have this, our kids. And you don't realize until they come and they get to see you dance how special that is, or they get to come backstage, or they get to even just, one show, it was Plot Point. Milo sat and watched the whole thing in the lobby, and he was pinpointing all different people on the screens, and just like, it's a really profoundly exciting thing to see it through their eyes, because we always talk about that in Nutcracker on our 700th show, like just try to imagine what it's like for the child that comes, and we try, and it's really difficult until you see it through your child's eyes, and it's just like, oh, that's everything. Like I can be done now. Like that's everything that I want. So yeah, it's super special to have him around, and get to share this huge part of my life that's been mine, pretty personal, but let it be a part of his life and kind of bring him into the world. It's been really cool.
Yeah, I love those moments when my kids were watching me. I also remember doing Coppelia, a really, really hard moment in the third act, and I heard this child like, "Wah!" just scream, and I was like, "Oh my God, I know that scream!" And then I could hear my wife like wrestling and taking. There's the other side of it. I'm gonna ask maybe two more questions. But one is, as we go on tour, I saw a group of you, and some of you had your kids with you, and some of you didn't, but you were still part of this PNB parent group. And I think Reed Nakayama and Liz Nakayama were part of that. And it was interesting to see that you have a bond, don't you, with your fellow parents in the company. We have some that are currently expecting. Is there a group there, and do you advise one another, and do you pass the playpen on to the next person, and so on?
Yeah.
Ezra, why don't you take that?
Yeah, there for sure is. I think that even, just between the three dads here in the locker room, we're like, did you sleep last night? How was it? Oh, I did this. And then we brag about our kids. Oh, mine's potty training. Mine's doing this. So that bond is big. But also, like you said, on tour, we kind of, you have to do whatever it takes to get the show out there. Plus, you're in a different state. You're in a different time zone sometimes. And Etta didn't go to New York with us, but Sarah and I were just doing whatever we could to help, because Liz and Reed, because she was there, and anytime they wanted something, we all love each other's kids, so we're happy to swing by, pick one up, run around, hold it for a little bit, and it's a tremendous support group. It's made it just that much easier. So
yeah, well said. I got a last question. What's your funniest parenting moment? It can be dance related or completely not dance related.
Oh man.
All of the stories are just bathroom stories, so I'm trying to think of a better one.
Mine's a bathroom story too, but I'm not telling it. So
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm trying to think of one.
I guess we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, just any time she gets to be around and see us dance, especially in the last year when Sarah was dancing, they were just really nice moments for us as parents to watch her, either watching the other person dance or together the two of us watching her dance, because like Price said, it's such a big part of our lives. And at 2.5, I don't remember anything from 2.5. I don't really remember anything until I was like 7 maybe, but I think just the fact that she's around, it makes us know that she is aware of what we did and what we gave our lives for. It's really a tough profession. It takes everything that you can give to it. And sometimes, I feel like, oh, maybe I should be spending a lot more time with her. Maybe I should be doing something. But on the other hand, she's here as much as we can. We do as much as we can. So those moments when she is right next to us and around us and gets to experience what we're doing, and she's showing so much love for it and how much she enjoys watching it. Those have been some really special moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, to piggyback on that a bit, like Julian's never seen me dance live, but recently he saw our tour poster, which I'm on, and then I also showed him some video of waiting at the station, and just to see his eyes light up, like that was everything for me. So yeah, I can't wait to bring him in and have him see it in person.
Yeah, bring him in. You're dancing.
Yeah.
Bryce, anything to add?
Oh man, now I'm just stuck on funny bathroom things that have happened. Thanks, Ezra.
Yeah, you're
No,
welcome.
I think the only thing that I would add is just, you know, there was a person made a statement about dance saying that the first decision you ever really make as a dancer is when to retire, because so many things happen. You just keep working and plugging away. And you know, you audition and you get the things, you don't get the things, whatever it is, you kind of follow this path. But I kind of would contradict that and say, like, once you have a child, every single thing, every single day becomes a choice. You know, it's not convenient. You know, you're missing time with your kids. The list goes on and on and on. And I think this is true for maybe any profession, but this such a demanding one that it forces you to choose to do it. And there's something that's so much more enriching about having this career, because you know you are actively playing a role in it. You're choosing to come in. You know, when I'm you know, in there dancing, it's because I have decided to do this, and I have made the commitment to what I'm doing. And it really elevates, for me at least, it's elevated my efforts, and it's elevated that performance, and just every part of it feels so much more mine. I feel like I have so much more ownership of my career, and my involvement in it, which is, again, it's just another layer of adding to the value of what I'm doing, which I didn't expect that. It was kind of a surprise, because you expect the difficulty, but you don't understand or don't process until you're in it that difficulty is also a payout at the end, that you really feel like you've invested so much of yourself intentionally into what you're doing.
I felt that total perspective flip when I all the things that I was worried about and anxious about and held so high in my life, they suddenly just dropped down. I had a completely different perspective because of being a father. And it was a really healthy switch for me. I was really happy to feel that and to recognize it. Listen, I commend all three of you. You have a very hard profession. You're all spectacular dancers, and then to add on the challenges and also the joys and triumphs of parenting on top of that takes a special person, and that's all three of you. So thanks for talking about it.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.